There are hidden costs that can increase the total purchase price of your home by thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Do you know what they are? The truth is, the cost of buying is never just the sticker price alone. In reality, there are a number of additional costs that, if you don't budget for, could put you in jeopardy of losing your new home. In fact, these costs aren't even indicated on the residential contract of purchase and sale. So the question is, how many of these hidden costs are you missing on your home buying budget? You know, as a realtor, I often hear about these horror stories of unknowing buyers suddenly coming up short on cash on or around the closing date and then scrambling to beg, borrow, or even steal money to prevent losing what they thought was about to become their new home. And when I hear these types of stories, I really feel for these people. And so for me as a realtor, the last thing I ever want any of my clients to experience is the shock of any of these so-called hidden costs of buying real estate. So for me, I feel it's my duty to educate people to help them prepare as best that I can for what's about to come. And so in this video, I'm going to reveal 9 hidden costs that, if unaccounted for, can add up to an unexpected bill to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. And the last one, well, it will likely initially cost you about $1,000. If you're smart about it, you can often use it as leverage to actually save you much, much more. Now, to illustrate these costs, as an example in this video, we're going to use the purchase price of $1 million home because it's a nice round, easy number to work with. Now, if the purchase price of your home is going to be somewhere closer to, say, $500,000, simply divide the figures in half. And obviously, everyone's purchase price is going to be a little bit different, so use these figures as guidelines. All right, so number one, which you are probably already aware of but might not have budgeted for, is property transfer tax, also known as PTT. The good old tax man. You know, you just can't escape from them. Here in British Columbia, property tax is calculated as 1% on the first $200,000, 2% on the portion of the fair market value greater than $200,000 and up to and including $2 million, and then 3% on the portion of the fair market value greater than $2 million. So for our example of $1 million property, the property transfer tax would be approximately $18,000. That's a lot of money. Now, at the time of this recording, if you are a first-time home buyer, you may be eligible for a partial or even a full exemption from the tax, depending on the purchase price of your home. So definitely be sure to look into that. Okay, so number 2 is legal fees and disbursements. When you buy a home, you're going to need to hire a real estate lawyer or notary to help handle the legal aspects of the property purchase, including reviewing contracts, conducting title searches, registering the property in your name. Okay, now legal fees and disbursements can vary, typically in the range of about $1,000 to $2,500 or more. So again, you know, for $1 million property, $1,000 to $2,500 is the cost. But whatever you do, be sure to shop around. By simply calling a handful of legal firms, you can often find one and save yourself hundreds of dollars. And just a quick tip also, consider shopping in the less desirable neighborhoods, okay? Because in these areas, lawyers and notaries, they're often going to charge less than those in the more affluent neighborhoods. Okay, next to come is insurance, and well, more insurance. The first one being title insurance. When you buy a home, lenders typically require title insurance as part of the mortgage process here in BC. Now, although it's not mandatory by law, most lenders will insist on title insurance to protect their interest in the property. Now, the cost of title insurance for $1 million home can vary depending on factors such as the location of the property, the title insurance provider, and any additional coverage options chosen. However, as a rough estimate, title insurance for $1 million home in British Columbia could range from approximately $1,000 to $2,000. Thankfully, title insurance premiums are typically a one-time cost paid at the time of purchase or refinance, and the policy coverage amount is based on the purchase price or the appraised value of your property. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name's Glen Hopkins. I am a local realtor here in the Fraser Valley area. And on this channel, I create videos all about real estate and lifestyle in the area. So if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in and you like, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to like this video. And of course, if you're thinking about moving to the area and you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out, give me a call. I love talking about real estate. My number is 604-612-5164. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next type of insurance, which is mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance protects the lender in case you, the borrower, defaults on your mortgage loan. In Canada, mortgage insurance is typically required for home buyers and borrowers who typically make a down payment of less than 20% on the purchase price of their home. Now, the cost of mortgage insurance varies based on several factors, including the size of the down payment, the loan amount, and the mortgage insurer. So, because there are so many, there's just so many variables to consider when calculating the cost of mortgage insurance, we're not going to include it here in these figures or for our example. But please note that this does not mean you don't have to pay for it. If you put down less than 20% as your down payment, you most definitely will. So be sure to ask your mortgage broker what it's going to cost you based on your individual circumstances. Okay, so the third type of insurance is property insurance. When you buy a home, lenders require you to have property insurance in place before finalizing your mortgage. Now, the cost of property insurance can vary depending on factors such as the location of your property, the size of the home, the condition of the property when you are buying. Now, for $1 million home, this could range from $1,500 to $2,000 annually. But again, be sure to shop around because by simply calling a handful of insurers, you might be able to save yourself a few $100. Okay, so enough with insurance, am I right? Let's go ahead and look at the next hidden cost, which is number 6 on our list, and that is appraisal fees. When you buy a home, lenders require an appraisal on your property to determine its market value before approving a loan. And for $1 million home, an appraisal fee is typically going to range from about $300 to $500. And just a quick tip here, if you're shopping around for a mortgage and it's a competitive market, this might be an opportunity for you to save some costs on your mortgage because sometimes you or your mortgage broker can negotiate to have that fee waived for you. Okay, so we have 3 more hidden costs to cover, and the last one, if approached strategically, can actually save you thousands and even at times tens of thousands of dollars depending on your circumstances. But first, let's move along to the 7th cost that is often forgotten when budgeting for a new home, and that is strata fees. If you're purchasing a condo or a townhouse here in BC, you're likely going to have to pay monthly strata fees. And these fees can vary widely depending on the amenities and services provided. Now, typically, the more amenities the complex has, the more you're going to pay in strata fees. And this is because additional things like gyms and elevators and saunas and pools, they can cost you a lot of money. So a quick tip here, by the way, if a complex that you're looking at has, say, a pool and you don't plan on ever using that pool, you might want to consider looking at other buildings. And that's because eventually pools cost a lot of money to maintain, and those maintenance fees will ultimately fall back on you by way of increasing strata fees. All right, so what do maintenance fees cost? Well, they can vary greatly, but for $1 million home, they can be around $400 to $500 per month. And every year, like everything else, they tend to go up. Which leads us to number 8, which is property taxes. Property taxes in British Columbia are often paid on an annual basis. Therefore, depending on the timing of your purchase, you may need to actually reimburse the seller for the property taxes and even prepaid utilities that cover the period beyond your closing date, which means if the adjustment date falls partway through the fiscal year, which is typically January 1st to December 31st, and the seller has already paid the property taxes for the entire year, This is the kind of scenario where you as the buyer would have to reimburse the seller for the portion of the year that you're actually owning the property. So this calculation, it's based on the number of days from the adjustment date to the end of the fiscal year. So for $1 million home, let's say your property taxes might be around $3,500 to $4,000 per year. All right, so the last and often unexpected hidden cost that can actually save you money is the home inspection. Now, when you buy a home, before firming up on an offer, I highly recommend you include a subject to having a professional home inspection done to identify any potential issues or repairs that might be needed. Now, home inspection fees can vary depending on the size and complexity of the property. So for $1 million home, this could range from, let's say, $700 to $1,000. Now, while home inspections are not mandatory, again, I highly recommend them to all of my clients. Firstly, the types of things that a professional home inspector can find that you simply cannot see with your naked eye could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. For example, let's say that the inspector climbs up onto the roof or into the attic, and during the inspection, they come across a serious leak that you would not have otherwise known of. And let's just say that the repair of the new roof was estimated at a cost of $20,000. If you and your realtor are smart, you will use this as leverage to negotiate a new and lower price for the purchase of your home. And if your realtor is good at negotiating, oftentimes they can negotiate more off the purchase price than what it might otherwise cost to get the repair work done, which means it could net you a little profit. So as you can see, when you tally up all of these additional costs of buying, it can be quite significant, anywhere from $26,900 to $30,800. So make sure to include these things in your home buying budget. All right, so now that you know some of the potential hidden costs that might arise when purchasing your home, the next questions you should ask are, well, where should I buy? What is the best neighborhood? Or more importantly, which neighborhood should you definitely steer away from? To find out the answers to these and many other questions you might be having, make sure to click on some of these videos that are showing up right now. Watch those videos. Again, my name is Glen Hopkins. I am a local realtor here in the Fraser Valley, and I'm here to help you buy and sell your home with confidence.